So we're focusing on that line because that's what we voted on first. So we'll look into other stuff too. So now let's look at Cora, which those names do match up with the names that we had before. So that we saw in a record. See what they have. One thing you can do when you look at these, if you see like 1900 United States Census repeated multiple times, you're usually looking at a tree that might have a little bit of issues with it. All right. So I'm not going to add those straight up. We do see people have added the gravestone. So this is Taylor Swift's great-grandparents. And I'm actually kind of curious, now that I'm on this, have any other Ancestry users noticed this issue? This is an issue I just started to have the other day, where when I view images, they show up like this. So not sure if anyone in the chat works with Ancestry either, but we'll go to the Find and Grave because I'm sure that's where the photo came from. And you know what we'll do? We'll take a look at some newspaper. We'll search for some newspaper stuff because that usually turns up some interesting stuff. And Mullenkamp is uncommon enough name, we might be able to find some good stuff. So, all right. So we have. Let's zoom this in more. Boom. Okay. Is that legible for everyone? Okay, hopefully that's legible enough. So, oh look, yeah, see, the tree's already really well built out. Great grandmother Taylor Swift. So here we have the gravestone, great grandparents, other things people have added. So we have Elmer Henry Mullenkamp. It looks like a bond for a license, marriage license, and then this is the death record that we were looking at before for her great grandmother. So now what I want to do is we're going to actually look into newspapers and see if we can find her grandparents or great grandparents. Maybe grandparents too. We were looking at both. So let's see. Marjorie Mullenkamp. So when I do searches for stuff, I start broad and then go narrow. So right off the bat, we're already finding a lot of stuff. And this one, we can tell there's a photo. So Miss Marjorie Mullenkamp, 21-year-old singer, receives a congratulatory kiss from Hal Fredericks of KXOK, the Star Times station, as she was announced yesterday as the winner of a talent contest held in connection with the St. Louis appearance of the American Broadcasting Company network program Music with the Girls. And you can see lots of clippings that people have done of this article, probably people researching Taylor Swift's family tree. And yeah, you get some of the information about her. So it's pretty cool to see the articles. And there was a lot of other stuff too. So this one's earlier, 1946. So this is a marriage. Virginia Mullenkamp becomes bride of D. Humphrey. So preceding the bride down the aisle where her sister's Miss Marjorie Mullenkamp is maid of honor. And the bridesmaids, Mrs. Virginia Wood Blattner of Mexico. What is that? Mexico, Montgomery, Virginia. Oh, Mexico, Missouri. Montgomery. Anyway, Virginia Boschert, Betty Gauss, and Miss Marion Jane Wagner. Junior bridesmaids were Diane Barber and the groom's niece from Kansas City, and blah, 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 blah. The maid of honor, Marjorie Mullenkamp, wore a gown of ivory net and carried a colonial bouquet of gold chrysanthemums, which matched her tiny bonnet of gold. She wore short white gloves. So honestly, you know, it'd be cool because I know Taylor Swift's really into like the whole designing her own outfits. She should do a whole line of like outfits that are based on her ancestors. And just from this description, I bet, actually, honestly, you probably find wedding photos. All you have to do is find the descendants of the Humphrey side, and they might have photos. All right. So, same article, 1952. Got a different one. So now we have her marriage information. And sorry, just I'm getting so many messages coming in on my phone right now. All right, so this is her great grandmother's marriage announcement, Miss Marjorie Mullenkamp, who's to be married March 22nd to Robert Bruce Finley. Look at how many people have clipped this. So yeah, I mean, you can see how many people have really researched this. So I bet a lot of this is really easy to find elsewhere already. So here we have another one from 1940, and she's much younger. The Mrs. Charlene and Marilyn Tweedy and Miss Marjorie Mullenkamp of St. Charles, who spent the holiday and weekend with the Mrs. Tweedy. So September 3rd, 1940. Not as many people clipping this. I wonder if people just weren't quite sure if that was her or not. And then, oh yeah, music scholarship. So I guess her great grandmother, obviously, or not her great grandmother. This is her grandmother. Became a singer. So yeah, I honestly, now I should say, if anyone's, for any Swifties in the chat, I don't know a whole lot about Taylor Swift, so don't hate me if this is like well-known history or something with her family.